Amy Slaton and Tammy Slaton, stars of 1000 Delby Sisters, suddenly found themselves caught in one of the most dangerous and dramatic chapters of their lives. For weeks, tension had been quietly building in the background, simmering like an untouched pot left on a stove. Their long-lost half-brother, Adam Holtman, had unexpectedly stepped back into their lives, carrying the promise of reconciliation after years of distance. At first, his return seemed almost too good to be true. He cracked jokes that made them laugh, helped with little chores around the house, and even shared nostalgic stories from their childhood that made Amy and Tammy wonder if maybe, just maybe, this new chapter with Adam could heal old wounds. But wounds that are buried too deep rarely stay hidden for long. Slowly, Adam's humor began to cut sharper. His comments turned more critical. His habit of mocking the sisters' choices, their weight, and their struggles became a constant sting. What had started as laughter became bickering, and soon, bickering became explosive fights that left everyone exhausted. On one particular evening, as the sun slipped down behind the trees in Dixon, Kentucky, painting the quiet neighborhood in orange shadows, the Slaton family living room became the stage for an eruption no one could stop. Amy had misplaced her car keys, and the stress of her crumbling marriage and ongoing filming weighed heavily on her. Frustrated and already close to snapping, she turned on Adam. "I know you took them, Adam," she screamed, her voice raw with exhaustion. Adam, arms crossed and chin lifted, smirked as though the accusation amused him. "Why would I want your car, Amy? Maybe if you weren't so scatterbrained, you'd remember where you put them." His words dripped with contempt. Tammy, who had been sitting silently in her wheelchair scrolling through her phone, slammed it down and joined in, her voice trembling with fury. "Don't talk to her that way. You've done nothing but cause trouble since you showed up." Adam leaned forward, eyes glittering. "Tammy, come on, let's be honest. You've been a problem since the day you were born." That was the spark. Amy lunged, shoving Adam so hard he crashed into a lamp, sending it tumbling to the ground with a crash. Tammy, enraged, hurled her drink at him, the liquid soaking into his shirt as shards of glass shattered on the floor. The room descended into chaos, yelling, pushing, the sound of breaking objects echoing through the small house. From the kitchen, Michael, Amy's husband, came running. He had been silent for months, watching his wife and her sister collapse under stress, but this time was different. Standing in the doorway, he looked around at the chaos, at his wife screaming, at Tammy crying, and at Adam bellowing in rage, and finally snapped. Pulling his phone from his pocket, he muttered in a low, steady voice, "I'm done with this. I'm calling the police." His words cut through the shouting like a blade. Amy froze. Tammy gasped. Adam laughed as if it were all a bluff, but within 15 minutes, blue lights flashed outside the quiet Kentucky street. Neighbors peeked out from behind curtains, whispering as officers stormed the house. "You're all coming with us," one officer said flatly as he cuffed Amy, Tammy, and Adam. The sight of the three siblings being led away in handcuffs left the neighborhood stunned. At the police station, the mood shifted. Amy, still shaking from adrenaline, begged for Tammy's release. "She just got out of rehab. She can't be here. Please, she's my sister," she pleaded with the officers. Hours later, her persistence paid off. Tammy was released, on bond, and Amy drove her home in silence, her heart heavy. Adam wasn't so fortunate. Past accusations, rumors of violent behavior, and whispers of an outstanding warrant meant the police kept him in custody. Almost immediately, rumors spread like wildfire online. Was Adam being charged with assault? Was there really a warrant hanging over his head? By morning, the story had leaked into multiple outlets, and fan theories exploded across the internet. TLC refused to issue a statement, leaving fans more anxious than ever. Tammy fueled speculation by posting a cryptic TikTok with the caption "Snakes in the Family," while Amy stayed heartbreakingly quiet, retreating into herself. Insiders claimed she was devastated, not just because of the potential damage to the show, but because she felt like her family was crumbling beyond repair. Yet even in the shadow of scandal, life didn't stop. Amy and her brother Chris had spent months preparing a fan meet and greet in their community. An event meant to bring joy to the people who had supported them through years of ups and downs. Amy insisted Tammy come along, but Tammy hesitated. She had become increasingly reclusive since moving into assisted living to focus on her health. The thought of crowds, of judgment, of cameras snapping pictures of her in a wheelchair, it all terrified her. "I just don't know if I can handle all that," she admitted softly when Amy pressed her. "Tammy, People love you. They want to see you. We need to do this together, Amy said, her tone full of warmth but also desperation. Chris, ever the blunt joker, chimed in from the background speakerphone. Tammy, you're the main event. People will riot if you don't show up. Plus, I already told the food truck guy you'd try his bacon-wrapped hot dogs. Tammy laughed, despite herself, but doubt lingered in her eyes. Determined to win her over. Amy and Chris visited Tammy in person a week before the event. They came armed with her favorite sugar-free pudding cups and spent the afternoon cracking jokes and filming silly TikToks together. Slowly, Tammy's defenses slipped. The only real hurdle left was transportation. Her specialized wheelchair van had been in the shop for weeks, and rentals were outrageously expensive. Chris spent hours on the phone, even calling a local church to see if he could borrow a bus. At the last minute, a rental came through. On the morning of the event, Chris pulled up to Amy's house, honking like a parade. Amy wrangled her two little boys, Gage and Glenn, both dressed in matching Team Slaton shirts, into the truck. When they arrived at Tammy's facility, she was waiting outside, dressed fresh, her nails painted a glittering pink. For the first time in weeks, her smile was real. Are you ready to make history? Chris grinned as he helped her into the van. The drive was filled with old country songs, jokes, and promises of sweet tea stops along the way. But nothing could have prepared them for the sight at the community center. Balloons floated above the entrance, posters, handmade by fans, covered the walls, and a line of people wrapped around the block. As the Slatons walked in, cheers erupted. Signs waved high. We love you, Tammy. Slaton sisters forever. For a second, Amy's heart stopped. Tammy froze, her eyes wide, panic threatening to send her retreating. But then, something shifted. Tammy straightened her back, lifted her chin, and rolled forward with a small smile. What followed was hours of hugs, autographs, and photos. Chris kept the crowd laughing with wild behind-the-scenes stories, while Amy made sure Tammy stayed hydrated and comfortable. The most touching moment came when a shy 80-year-old girl approached Tammy, clutching a handmade drawing. You're my hero, she whispered. You give me hope. Tammy's eyes filled with tears. By the time they drove home, Tammy was drained but glowing. I'm glad I came, she admitted, voice soft but steady. I didn't know people cared about me so much. Amy squeezed her hand tightly. They don't just care, Tammy. They love you. And so do we. Chris, never missing a chance for humor, grinned. Now that you survived this, we're going to the state fair next. Fried Oreos and Ferris wheels, baby. For once, Tammy laughed, without hesitation. Season 5 of 1000 Delby Sisters wasn't just about weight loss anymore. It was about survival, sisterhood, and the messy, beautiful struggle of family. The cameras captured everything. Tammy's battle with food addiction, her tentative steps toward healthier habits, her new romance with Jason, and Amy's painful juggling act as she balanced motherhood, marriage, and her own health. There were breakdowns, reconciliations, and raw moments of honesty that cut deeper than ever before. Through setbacks and triumphs, through judgment, gossip, and endless speculation, the sisters never fully let go of each other. And in one of the season's quietest, most powerful moments, Tammy looked at her sister with tears in her eyes and whispered, "We're sisters. Whatever happens, we'll face it together. We'll face it together."